Hey, good evening everybody, how's it all going? So yesterday I went for a long run and it was really worth documenting, so I wanted to bring you this video. I'm going to try and keep it short and just talk about that long run because it was a really good one and lots of eventful, funny sort of and hard stuff happened in it. But one issue, and the first issue on it is I took the GoPro with me because I really wanted to film it because I was going to this national park called Nuuksio just outside of Helsinki. But the GoPro battery was dead. Oh my gosh. So I've got some few photos and some overlays of the Strava which I'll do over my face and everything, and maybe some old running footage. But yeah, I charged the GoPro battery fully up, then I unplugged it or switched it off, and I think that automatically turns it on, so please excuse that. And it was an eventful one. It was one of the hottest days recorded, I think, ever in Helsinki, according to someone. Which is, you know, I mean, it wasn't that hot, but for here it was. So we were looking at, it was like 33 degrees Celsius, and the humidity was high though. So, you know, here the humidity makes it a lot hotter, feel a lot hotter. So it was a perfect like little test. To be honest, the heat didn't really get to me that much, in the sense of like I couldn't bear the heat. It doesn't really bother me that much. But obviously it does make you work harder and more effort, and obviously dehydrate quicker. So first things first, we parked up. Emma was going to do a 25 or 22 kilometer one. I was going to go and do a 32 kilometer loop. And I set my route on the watch, went out and started to do it. First things to do, first 2 kilometers, I was running along the rocks, all on trails, so it's a lot harder than obviously running just on a path. And running over these rocks, and I jumped over one, and then just carried on. And Emma went, "Whoa!" like this. And I was like, what's the matter? And she goes, "You just jumped over this snake here," and there was like a brown snake wrapped up on the rocks, you know, soaking up some energy from the sun. And I came back and looked at it, and I was, yeah, so I just jumped over it without even noticing. So thankfully, I didn't do any harm to the snake, and it didn't do harm to me. And yeah, we just carried on. Then Emma's path veered off a different way, and I went a different way. And then all of a sudden, about a couple kilometers later, another snake. This one was like black and blue, kind of silvery, and apparently this one actually though is like a goo, which is a poisonous snake here in Finland. And that time I saw it in the middle of the path, and then I just, you know, like banged my feet against the floor and said, "Come on, move please." And it moved off the path, and I watched it move, and I was like, where's the GoPro when you need it? But yeah, the run went well, and then after 10 kilometers I think I got a little bit lost here and there a few times, and it was really hard work, to be honest. You know, it just, for some reason, I think it's accumulated fatigue through the week. It was like a peak week, so my training schedule I have like 1, 2, 3, and the third one is the peak, and then a recovery week, so it's like blocks like that. And this one was a peak week, so I think it was, at that point I'd already run about 80 or 90 kilometers for the week, and this one obviously being the last long run. So for me, I got to about 10 kilometers, about 15 kilometers, and I just had it. I'd had enough of the run. I was like, oh my god, my legs are dead, I'm tired, this is hard work. But at the same time I was on this loop, so there was no other way to get back. And at 17 kilometers you're like just over halfway for a 32 kilometer run. So still on like these really technical small little trails, you know, not very runnable in the sense that, you know, there's a lot of roots and stuff and rocks on the path, and, you know, very narrow, you know, body width trail. With lots of greens and shrubbery sort of overcoming it. There's no places to fill up your water as well on this. There's no places to fill up with water these, because it's just lakes, and, you know, there are bacteria that can grow in these lakes. So without a filter of some kind, it wouldn't have been a good idea to drink it. But I was using that water. Really important, a hot day, to get your body heat system regulated. So I was stopping where possible, took a cup with me, pour it over the head, dunk it all over, across the chest, on the back, and that was really good, and it was like a really good refresh. And just washing the hands, for some reason washing the hands feels good. So we got, I got up to that point and I was just like, well, you know, it's a loop, so you've just got to carry on, you just got to plug away. So I just carried plugging on away, and then all of a sudden the next challenge was, I was running and there's like loads of ant nests, and I was running and I was like, oh, there's loads of ants in this little trail, and I tried to jump over it, and obviously with the sluggish movement I had, I kicked one of the roots of the tree that was going across the path, and I tripped and I fell face first. Well, I landed on my hands and on my knees, and going back the other way, and yeah, so I ended up with some ants down my hands, luckily not right into the nest, a little bit of a cut knee, and more so just like a little bit of a laughter sort of thing there for me. So after there, you know, I just kept plugging away, kind of like hoping just to get towards the end. My route did join back up with Emma's route, and I was just, you know, waiting to catch up with her, and it just didn't come. I was too sluggish, but you know, these runs are really useful. The ones that you find the hardest are the ones where sometimes you have the most to gain, and it has helped me, I believe, to kind of really just, you know, you don't put that hard work in, you're never going to get the results that you want. And that run was one of the hardest training runs I believe I've done, and as you can tell by some of these pictures I've maybe shown all now, I was really spent at the end. I remember getting towards the end, and I realized that obviously getting lost a few times, and also the route wasn't always correct. So I ended up doing 36 kilometers, which was a good training run. And I remember getting to this one place called Haukalampi, and it's like 5 kilometers away, and I was like, really? Is it really 5 kilometers? I'm sure, hopefully the trail on my watch is like some shortcut trail and it's only like 1.5 kilometers. But sure enough, it was a full 5 kilometers back. And you know, looking back on it, it was a good thing really, because I got to have that full, I got to get a longer run in, and you know, in those conditions it's really good. So I was very, very happy, and well, when I got there I was like about 30% of capacity of like functioning. And another funny story, before we left I put the car key, because we drove there, and I put it in a buff in my backpack, and I was just getting it out ready because Emma was waiting near the car, and I was going to get the car key out. I was like, where is the car key? Oh my gosh, I've lost the car key. I've just run 36 kilometers. I don't know where it is. I've got to go back and find it. Oh my gosh, I've got to find this red buff. I was just like dreading it, and I was like, all the emotions built up in me, and then I got back to the car and I go, Emma, you don't know what I've done. I've lost the car key. And I just sat on the ground and lay back and like, like this, like, seriously, oh no, what have I done, what have I done, oh, an idiot. And yeah, I was an idiot because it wasn't in the backpack, it was just in a different pocket. Emma told me to double check, and yeah, she was right. And I was just so like relieved and just like couldn't believe what I did. And so Emma poured some water over my head, and I just kind of just took a few minutes to sit down. And I went into the there's like a cafeteria or like information center. Went in there and bought Sprite, you know, half a bottle, 500 milliliter bottle of Sprite, and pretty much down that, and it was so good. I like instantly brought me up to like 60%, like really like that. I know, because I forgot to mention I drank the whole 2.5 liters of liquids I was carrying. I did have 2 sets of Cliff Blocks, 2 Cliff Shots as well whilst I was running. I mean, all the details were somewhere around here. And then we went down to a lake and went swimming for like 10 or 15 minutes. I would have stayed in there for much longer if it would not have been for the fact that I had to kick my legs to keep myself above the water. So a lilo would have been great. But yeah, it was just too good of a long run to not share with you. I do realize it's been about 10 minutes of me babbling on about it, but I really wanted to share it and document it and like show to people that, you know, you don't always get success from being successful. Success comes from putting yourself in hard places and coming out of them, and that's what this run was exactly today. So I hope you enjoyed listening to it. I hope it's been of some use. Please do share your comments down below. I do really enjoy reading them and, you know, interacting with you, and yeah, I just really do appreciate all the likes and the subscriptions and blah 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 and just everything, the views. It's just such a nice kind of thing to be able to share this with people and also hear about your sort of challenges and everything. So thanks a lot, I really do appreciate it. Now I'm gonna go back and eat a bowl of granola, not some granola, but just granola. Cheers guys, peace.